This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Han and Horner, we have Araxe. And player 2, playing Carax, we have SKSS. So let's have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. Han Horner is a level 81 mastery commander. We have 21 points in the Strike-Fire AoE and then 6 points into the stronger Death Chance mastery. For the significant other bonuses, we have 26 points, and then we have 1 point into the double salvage chance, and then 25 points into the air fleet, and then 2 points into the Magmine cooldown mastery. So let's talk about these masteries over here. Usually I go for the Strike-Fire AoE mastery because I do play a random commander on random maps, so if I do get Dead of Night, I am a very happy panda at that point. Stronger Death Chance, not really too bad, but as you have to be using your hands units a lot more frequently than you would normally be to get that kind of value from them. And then we have the significant other bonuses compared to the double salvage chance. I do not know why the 1 point is there. Significant other bonuses are better. And then 25-2 split, this is basically a matter of choice as to what you want here from your Magmines. We can see there is a Galleon slapping, a Galleon version of the rock slapping going on right now for Han and Horner. For Carax, Carax has already cleared his expansion. We have 30 points in the unit vitality, 30 points in the repair beam mastery, and 30 points in the Spear of Adun mastery here. So the only one here that is debatable is this one. To be honest, most of these masteries are pretty junk. I normally go for the Chrono Wave Energy Regeneration Mastery because I do spam my Spear of Adun a lot. I rely on the Spear of Adun a lot during the early game, and it is basically my main source of DPS to carry me throughout the later stages of the game where I can actually get an army out. So that's basically a matter of preference. Overall, all seems okay. We do have now a bunch of Magmines that have been set up for dealing with the first attack wave. And this is an interesting choice here. Usually what you want to do when you want to position and deal with this is because the attack wave tends to split around this warp conduit, what you do is you put down one set here and one set here, and you will end up catching out the full attack wave with just 2 sets of Magmines. You can see Carax just uses orbital strikes here to clean up that attack wave. Now we have a double rock slapping coming up from the Assault Galleon. Still no Reapers out for our Han Horner player, and they are flowing a lot of minerals. They're flowing about 400 minerals right now, and they are just continuing to build more and more Assault Galleons. So generally you only want to have 2 or 3 at the start of the game, because that is more than enough to produce the amount of units that you need, so that you do not end up flowing so many resources. But still, no expansion down for Han Horner, and they are going to continue slapping these rocks here instead of building some Reapers that are well equipped for rock slapping themselves. We do have a total of 5 SCVs that are also, I just got this, they're also queued up onto this command center right now, and they seem to be all okay in just dealing with the rocks right now. And now we have, again, like I said, this is the slightly a little bit more spread apart here, just putting them on the corners of the map, and you're basically fine here with these just 2 sets of Magmines. We do have now some upgrades coming up. The first solar efficiency upgrade is coming up for Carax, and this is basically how I play Carax as well. I like to just try and rush out my solar efficiency upgrades. Every single Spear of Adun upgrade, if I can, I try and get it, because that is so much more important. And whatever I have left as a mineral float, I put into Sentinels to start. And still, no expansion for Han and Horner, and this is the 5-minute and 30-second mark, and this is going to be very important to get these commanders up and powered. You can see these Magmines reasonably decent, does clean up a good chunk of these units. Unfortunately, there's one Goliath that ends up surviving, but there we go. We have Han and Horner's Galleons already ready to deal with the attack wave, and they are pretty much good to go and try and start defending against this next. And now we have a queue up of 3 supply depots coming up, and then again, these 2 queued up supply depots equates to 200 minerals that Han and Horner is not using, so you shouldn't really be queuing up that much because it is tying up your resources. We have 200 minerals here, another 50 minerals queued up here, so that's 250 minerals that's not being used into building an army. And right now we do have an army of a total of 5 Reapers for Han and Horner. Still no upgrades being researched right now, and we have again another queue up of upgrades here. We have the weapons upgrade as well as an armor upgrade coming up, and again, armor upgrades not very useful in co-op. There is a whole video I have released as to why armor upgrades are not very useful, but you should be prioritizing your attack upgrades. Max out your army, and then only if you are filling resources, go for your armor upgrades. And we have the engineering bay as well. I wonder if the engineering bay will be researching anything here to provide the buffs that are needed for Han's units, because Han's units do get a good set of upgrades when you get your engineering bay upgrades coming up. for example, the Flying Reapers, which is very, very nice. But instead, Han and Horner are going to be building a bunch of strike fighter platforms, and now we have the first attack wave that has spawned, and it'll be making its way towards Carax's base because there was nothing over there. And we also have the shuttle spawn, and Han and Horner are just going to be starting to bombard Amon's base with this. We have a Purifier Beam that gets dropped to try and deal with this attack wave, and we have the space station reallocation that just gets dropped right on top of the shuttles. I guess that's one way of dealing with space station reallocation, or dealing with these shuttles, but we just have now a complete airstrike against Amon's base here. There are just, I think Han Horner just wants to start nuking Amon's base here with a bunch of airstrikes. I'm going to try and get this observer interface up because this does tend to spaz out a little bit when it comes to the usage of these special call-downs here. I think, let's see what happens. Yeah, so there's just going to be a call in the fleet onto Amon's base. And again, you can see not very effective because there are a lot of enemy units here, and he's not really pushing in as well with their army. So this base is just going to end up rebuilding, and they don't really care. Amon doesn't really care. He doesn't run out of minerals, he doesn't run out of resources. He's just going to keep doing what he's doing. And if he has lost a structure, he's just keep rebuilding that. We do have a mag mine that has been put down as well for Carax to defend Carax's base. But we can see lots of strike fire platforms coming out, but these strike fire platforms are up against Machines of War. Not really a bad composition to deal with. It is solely a ground composition, at least for the most part. So it should not really be too bad. But now the research vessel is getting aggroed by Amon's units, and we have a bunch of orbital strikes. Instantly takes out this, and we now have a bunch of support from the strike fire platforms to deal with units in the bunkers, but this is not the end of it. Carax has added a bunch of immortals now, and he's using his Spear of Adun abilities to help support his immortals, which is how Carax should be played, because a lot of people try and just think that the Carax's units are now buffed, so they should be able to hold on by themselves, but they do require the support from the Spear of Adun. We do have a hybrid here, and he's dealing a little bit too much damage to the Skydaran Monolith. The Skydaran Monolith may end up going down, and we now have the Solar Lance as well that gets dropped, and now you can see the damage output here. Lots of upgrades for the Spear of Adun, very, very powerful, and Han Horner are ready and in position to deal with this next shuttle that is trying to make its way towards the Warp Conduit with an accompaniment of some Banshees that get picked off by the orbital strikes. We do have these shuttles that pretty much stand no chance against a few more orbital strikes here just to try and clear it up before Han Horner does anything weirder. And again, this was actually a good set of mag mines here. It does catch out a good chunk of this attack wave, but still more bombardments onto Amon's base here from Han and Horner. They just want to try, and they're just doing a blitzkrieg on Amon's base right now. And this might be a problem because they are not using their call-downs to deal with the ground compositions here. And the ground composition, the fact that they're dealing with the ground composition does make their strike fires so much more effective. The one ends up whiffing as well on the hybrid. These immortals really do not need any help dealing with that one hybrid. But again, continued bombing, and you can see just how Amon is just continuing to rebuild all this stuff here. It doesn't really matter, like he's okay, yeah, fine, he lost his bunker. He'll just make another one. He doesn't really care. Amon gets something like 10,000 minerals every 10 seconds or something. He's not running out of minerals anytime soon. He's not gonna be running out of resources. So if Han Horner wants to clear this base, they're gonna have to get their hands dirty, and they'll have to try and push in by themselves, by their army, which still consists of a total of 5 Reapers. And I would like to draw your attention to the fact that there is 6 points into the stronger Death Chance Mastery here for Han Horner. They have manually selected to go 6 points here, but they are still not using their hands units, and they're fooling about 3,700 minerals right now. And what are they building? They're still building more strike fire platforms. If in doubt, just keep going again and again until you have more and more strike fire platforms, as that is the solution for taking out the Amon's base. So at least they're using their strike fires off cooldown, which is reasonably okay. They are setting this base on fire, and now they're focused down onto that one SCV that was repairing that command center. So I think that command center might end up burning down at some point, but they're not paying attention to the fact that there is another shuttle spawn here, and they are on the opposite side of the map right now. So Carax will have to deal with this next shuttle's wave all by himself. Han Horner now flowing about 4,000 minerals, 500 gas. What did they invest in? They're investing in another set of double upgrades here, and more strike fire platforms. More strike fires being used right into the middle of this base here, And we have another space station reallocation that gets used. I guess that's one way of supporting their ally, is just dealing with that. But now, there is an attack wave that is making its way towards Han and Horner's base, and there are a lot of Goliaths here. But we have a Purifier Beam coming down for Han and Horner, and are they going to cancel their call in the fleet? No, they are going to use their call in the fleet. They are going to use their Uber air attacks here to try and deal with us, and we also have a Magmine drop somewhere. I do not know why those Magmines are even there. Those things have no chance, absolutely no chance of getting armed, because there is still a lot of Amon units here. But finally, the space seems to be falling to the onslaught of strike fighters and the call in the fleets that Han and Horner are using. So this base is starting to get cracked, it is starting to get weakened, but Han Horner cannot let off the gas pedal right now. He has to keep pushing, and he has to keep weakening that base here to make sure that Amon does not rebuild, and pushing, he will keep pushing into that base, and he will start dropping some more strike fires in here. He's gonna do it eventually. I know he's gonna do it. He has to do it. He cannot let up on now. He has to. He's gonna win the battle, and he's gonna start pushing in now. But yeah, there we go. See, now he's just gonna clean up whatever's left of the enemy bases here, whatever's left of the enemy structures, and that base is starting to fall. He's even gotten the napalm. He is using chemical warfare against Amon right now. He does not care about the Geneva Convention. He does not care about anything. He wants to try and take out those structures, and he's going to set those structures on fire. More and more structures burning down, and this next research vessel is busy looking at the Zernaga temple, and that ends up being cleared as well. You can see Karax's solar lance with the solar flare upgrade just be absolutely devastating against the ground composition. So much value. A total of 18,000 damage so far has been dealt by the Spear of Idun. You can see here, Han Horner has not stopped his onslaught of just completely hammering Amon with those strike fires. Still, no army though for Han and Horner. They are sitting at 5 Reapers right now. They have the same number of Reapers as they have Assault Galleons, and these Assault Galleons are not going to last very long against the escort wave that is here. These 2 Tuna Fish hybrids are going to be dealing a lot of damage towards the Assault Galleon, and there are Goliaths as well on the low ground here, dealing so much damage. 1 Assault Galleon, 2 Assault Galleons go down, and the 3rd one also falls to the Goliaths and the Tuna Fish hybrids that have been attacking them. And now we have a bunch of hybrid behemoths that seem to decide that this Colossus looks very, very delicious, and they want to eat that Colossus. The Colossus has other plans, because he calls his friends as well, and he ends up wiping out that hybrid. And one last hybrid as well, Shadow Cannon to Oblivion, and that is pretty much the end of that. But now there is a Banshee here, and Amon wants to try and do a counter-attack to try and take out those strike fire platforms that have been hammering his base here, but Han Horner is not having any of it. He gets his buddy Karax to take out and snipe the Banshee out of the air. But now we have the triple wave spawn. So this one is notorious for being a little bit difficult if you are defending and you are not pushing into Amon's base. Usually at this point in time you kind of want to have Amon's bases cleared, because this wave will actually spawn with an escort. Obviously each one of these shuttles spawns, so you have 3 escorts to deal with, but you also have the attack wave that lines up with the shuttles that as they are moving past here. So this attack wave tends to clump up with the shuttle escorts, making this a reasonably difficult attack wave to deal with. But Han Horner is prepared. They have added 2 cattle bruisers to the mix here of their army, and they have a total of 2 assault galleons and 2 cattle bruisers and 1 raven for their detection, and they are not going to let up on Amon right now. They want to exact their revenge against that strike fire scratch on the paint job that was done onto that strike fire platform. So they are going to start attacking Amon's base here. We have a bunch of solar lances, and these solar lances are going to be doing so much damage to Amon's ground forces here. A total of 27,000 damage has been dealt by the Spear of Idun, and we have the battle cruisers as well, taking out these shuttles on the back line as the escorts, as well as the attack wave getting cut off from their defending target. So all is good now. Han Horner has decided now is the time to pounce, because there is nothing left of Amon's base here. All that is left is a bunch of ground units. He's going to end up cleaning out that without really too many problems. And his army of battle cruisers. He also has upgraded his assault galleons to the he's added the hangar bay upgrades. So now he's going to start pushing in. He's going to start teaching Amon a little bit of a lesson and giving them a taste of mercenary and Starfleet Admiral, or whatever Horner's title is. Dominion Admiral, I think. And now we also have, he's going to use it. He's going to use it. No, he decided to not call in the fleet. I think he's decided to have a little bit of mercy on Amon. Amon is already on the ground. He's already low. You do not beat the man down when he's low. So all is good. He's going to call off the fleet right now. He's not going to call in the fleet. He's going to call off the fleet, and all is good now, and he's going to start attacking the next phase of Amon's base. This little mid base in this little area here should not be really too difficult to deal with. And he has his army of battlecruisers as well, with his assault galleons that are getting focus fired down by that one battlecruiser here. But as you can see, Karax keeping his stuff alive by providing him with the unity barrier. But now that assault galleon at the back here wanted to join up with his buddies and gets focus fired down by the air Terran, by the ground Terran composition. One battlecruiser goes down because Amon has sprung his trap right now, and that second battlecruiser is also in huge peril. There's no pullback onto that battlecruiser, and that battlecruiser also goes down. And now these two hangar bays with their assault galleons are also in deep doo-doo, but there is a purifier beam from Karax, and Karax does end up cleaning out that, helping his ally, but at what cost? Han Horner has fallen into Amon's trap, and this is exactly why you want to make sure that you always spawn camp Amon, and you make sure that there's no way for Amon to keep rebuilding, because bad stuff will happen to you. And as you can see, 3 battle cruisers have gone down in the span of maybe about 30 seconds with 4 assault galleons, and that actually kind of stings. So Han Horner has been reset. He's going to regroup his army, lick his wounds, make sure everything is back to normal again, and now he's adding in another couple of battlecruisers because you know what? But wait, there's more! And he's going to start, and now Karax is going to start pushing into the space, and he's going to show Amon how powerful the Kalai Phasesmith can be when he's armed with the power of the Spear of Idun. And you can see here that Karax is basically not going to face any resistance by Amon's army here. Shadow cannons being very nicely split. That was actually a very nice shot. That's actually very satisfying to see just a bunch of shadow cannons being equally split among all of Amon's units here. And the orbital strikes now will just end up clearing out the rest of Amon's army. Over here, Han Horner is going to exact his revenge again using chemical warfare, trying to attack Amon's base here and setting the rest of the structures on fire. But he has to deal with the attack wave that is coming up his way. And unfortunately, Karax, I think, is trying to get out of the way here to try and move out of Amon's forces because his anti-air is not very strong. Unfortunately, that one Colossus might end up getting caught out. Nope, he does not end up getting caught out. And now we have the call in the fleet that is being used. But again, Yamato cannons onto these assault galleons, and these assault galleons are taking so much damage from these air units. But I think they might all survive because of Karax's repair beam. One ends up getting picked up by Yamato cannon, and I think the rest of these might be okay. I think the rest of these might end up surviving. Over here we have a bunch of tuna fish hybrids, but I think those shuttles might end up escaping as a result. But that is okay. Those are all the shuttles that are needed to be cleared. But at what cost? A total of 3 battlecruisers have gone down, 5 assault galleons, and only 5 reapers because Han and Horner are floating almost 10,000 minerals right now. I think they might actually hit the 10,000 mineral mark before this mission ends. Are they going to hit that? I think they will probably hit that. Yeah, there we go. 10,000 minerals floated by Han Horner. No army built, despite the fact that they have their stronger death chance mastery. But that is all the shuttles done, and that is GG.